Warning: this video contains images some viewers may find upsetting. Before going further, some background. I am well into my 4th year of monitoring and reporting fake animal rescue videos and channels on YouTube. There are hundreds, probably thousands, of these channels. Some call themselves shelters, rescue centers, or sanctuaries. They don't exist. There are 2 types of fake rescue channels: those that import rescue videos, real and fake, and those that make the cruel, fake rescues. Almost 99% of fake rescue channels I have found come from Vietnam. I've even encountered channels in the process of becoming a fake rescue channel, before they removed the personal uploads that were their channel previously. Days later, personal videos had been removed. These fake rescue channels are Vietnam's shame and disgrace, so why pick on just one group of perpetrators? Because they are the only ones I have ever found that are veterinarians, inflicting suffering on mostly infant animals, just to make money. Their cruelty, their sadism, is the absolute antithesis of what being a veterinarian is about. These 2 men are Dr. Tran Bong's cohorts. I have been unable to find any names for them. Man 1, on the left, is seen most often in front of the camera. Man 2 appears infrequently. This is Dr. Tran Bong. It's a lot to read, so I've highlighted the hypocrisy pertinent to this video. Those who wish to read it all may like to take a screenshot, but for everyone else, remember her last line in uppercase: all animals also need to be loved. Isn't she an angel, so dedicated, though she doesn't mention saving cats? Here she is taking part in 4 of the many hundreds of rescues engineered by her and her 2 male cohorts, operating out of her business premises, which for ease will be referred to simply as Sam Pet. It is no coincidence that adult cats and dogs, and kittens and puppies over a certain age, are drugged to unconsciousness because you can't film a fake rescue by hanging kittens from fences, throwing them into a patch of mud, burying them under rubble, wedging a cat's head into branches, hang a cat up a tree, put a puppy half in and half out of water. If your victim, for that's what they are, can leave the stage. In 2025, I took screenshots from 206 rescues loaded onto YouTube by the Tran Bong gang over a period of 5 months over 4 channels. Some were loaded 2, 3 or even 4 times on 1 or more channels or videos, but each I have counted only once. So that's 206 rescues, not 206 videos. Fortunately, I started early in the year and so got shots from the 2 channels they took down in March, such as LTT Animal. Some homepage thumbnails shown below. The 2 channels which vanished in March were replaced by 2 new channels in May. My aim was to, by analysis, present unequivocal evidence that these greedy, cruel vets are making these videos, not importing them from elsewhere as so many, most in fact, do. Also, from LTT Animal, Poor Cat. 3 of the videos marked below were originally on LTT Animal. I determined the cats to be dead. What was I to look for? To seek out? To isolate that would be regarded as evidence? I started with 40 categories, but perversely, the more I looked, the more I saw, and what I sought diminished, with one of the most telling coming almost at the end. Then, just when I was finished, I had an idea that brought me the best evidence of all. Just when you think you've seen it all, as I did, you'll see their fraud unequivocally exposed. That will come, as it did for me, at the end. First, I had to get more information on Tran Bong, for which I am indebted to an animal welfare organization. Next, one of the most obvious signs of fakery, already shown, is the animals being unconscious, but more subtle. Requiring some lateral thinking are these images. In 206 rescues, These are the only animals to either have an injury or to look in the sort of dirty, emaciated state that such abandoned animals usually do. All the rest are clean and healthy looking. Not even a flea to be seen. Although described as a rescue, I believe the dog, which has a tumor, is a client's dog, as we see it post-surgery and alive. The two badly injured cats also get surgery. The cat with the rectal prolapse supposedly had 3 hours surgery. The usual surgical repair is either a purse string suture, 10 minutes, or a rectal resection, 30 to 45 minutes. This cat gets a single stitch across its anus. If it wasn't dead when they found it, which I believe it was, it soon will be. It is never seen alive. We now see that the wound on the other cat's neck extends to just under its armpit. A huge wound, yet when it was found, there wasn't a drop of blood on its fur, just as there isn't on the surgical gloves in the picture. I believe the cat was already dead and they cut its throat post-mortem, hence the lack of blood, fresh or dried, on the fur. From having looked at many hundreds of cruel, fake rescue videos, I have come to suspect that these fake rescues are often done in batches. Several in one day. These are supposed to be different rescues, but the rescuer is in the same hat, same mask, same clothes, same shoes, same carrier, same day. Undoubtedly. Even, from his shadow, the same time of day. And note, there's no one around, there never is. Yet it is always. A passerby alerted us. I also felt the same locations were being used, both generally and exactly. Proving repeated use of the exact same location meant looking at the background for something unique. This location is clearly, exactly the same. Not even lush seasonal growth can disguise the offset fence posts. I think this pile of rubble was used a number of times, but proof required a wide-angle shot that included those two houses, which most did not. In some rescues they were just passing by, or accidentally came across. In one of the most ludicrous, right, above the noise of a motor engine, they hear a kitten's meow. That kitten, actually two, is inside the concrete pipe. And unconscious. As with the rubble pile, more rescues took place here, but the camera angle was different, so I couldn't capture the identifying features. This vast area, which I dubbed the car park, proved to be a treasure trove of settings for them to stage their rescues. With the exception of the pallets of bricks, visible below, the giveaway was always the brick border around vegetation, or the pale yellow-green wall. Many rescues were enacted in this car park, including one of the nastiest which, I discovered since finishing this video preparation, they reenact on their Facebook page with different kittens. In the beginning, I wanted to demonstrate that they were using the same animals multiple times. This proved very difficult, but here are a couple of examples I was able to get. There is great repetition in the sort of places the rescues are staged. If you're producing assembly line false rescues, novelty of situation must become difficult. These are just 7 of the 14 rescues where the animals were found in tires. The rescue with the unconscious kittens under a dead chicken is one of 3 that were ridiculous. Some of their other favorites. Sadly, now that they mostly operate on Facebook, incarcerating cats and kittens in rubble seems to be their favorite place. Also, there's water. With animals in, or almost in, water. 11 rescues featured animals in, or almost in, water. In most they were, as usual, drugged and placed half in and half out of water. A different channel, but the same cruelty, the same fraud, only now, on this later channel, they're getting a bit camera shy. Too late. There's one more vile cats in water video I want to address, and it's this one. This is Vietnam, the sun is overhead, yet these two are dressed like it's winter in Northern Europe. As well as covering themselves more, I noticed at this stage how much tighter the filming was. Harder to identify them, harder to identify where the filming takes place. Well, maybe. What's the problem with these images and the story they tell? The problem with their story. 1. How did they know the tank was dry the night before? 2. If the cat and kittens were there the night before, why didn't they rescue them then? 3. If there were no cats in the tank, why did they go back the next day? 4. It would take heavy rain 24/7 for 2 days or more to fill the structure to that level. I'm in the UK, I know about rain. 5. There's no indication, at any time, that the cats are aggressive. 6. The brick border is indicated. This is filmed in the car park. Finally, this is one of the rescues they do again, with different kittens, on Facebook. Now, some brief, light relief that exposes these frauds. I'll give you a few silent seconds to study it. One. It's night but the scooter has no lights on. 2. No security light came on, but the camera filmed. 3. The mysterious man is wearing a green pith helmet seen in some of their rescues inset top right. 4. The man appears to be wearing a pearl earring, like Tran Bong sometimes does. 5. The cats arrive in a carrier, but next morning are in a basket, and still unconscious. This is, of course, filmed during the day and then a heavy blue filter applied. Night films as black, not dark blue. This is one of the rescues I regard as ridiculous. What's wrong with this rescue image? The tale they tell about this piece of theatre is that the store owner has been bringing up the kittens. The glue trap was put down for rats. The kittens have been there for several days. So what's wrong with that bit of fiction? The problem? It's staged, here's why. 1. The kittens are all stuck by their sides, not their feet, as if they'd walked up to the trap and flopped down on it. 2. There's no sign of struggle. 3. They've been there for several days, yet the cardboard is pristine, no urine or feces. Also, if the owner knew they were there, why were they left for several days? You'll see this and other rescues you've seen from these YouTube screenshots, again when I show you, in part 2, their scam Facebook page, where the cruelty continues, and the lies, and the fraud, go into overdrive. Free from the glue trap but still unconscious. You never give fluids to an unconscious animal, especially one on its back. What's wrong with waiting? Well, these kittens are just disposable resources. These people are veterinarians, but medical aspects of these fakes were ridiculous, pseudo-first aid. Others were deeply disturbing. First, examples of the ridiculous. In all the genuine animal rescue videos I have seen, the priority has been to get the animals to a properly equipped rescue center or veterinarian, not faff about at the rescue site waving their arms about. I found this rescue especially stomach-turning. The 2 kittens are newborn. And dead, yet holding a penlight, he forces an eye open on one kitten. Not something that should be done even on live kittens. Look at the kitten's lower back leg, and the umbilical cord can just be made out. The 3rd kitten is older, its ears are unfolded, so it is at least 7 to 10 days old. The 2 dead kittens don't belong to the adult cat, she is not their mother. What really troubled me, both at the site of the rescue and in the so-called rescue center, was the injections. Why? And with what? Were they being injected? In 57 of the 206 rescues I analyzed, animals were being injected, syringes being loaded or the text referred to them about to be injected, either at the rescue site or at SAMPET, or both. We are not told what is being injected, just a vague medicine or detox. The only bottle we see shown is Catosal, a vitamin supplement, but even then the bottle is kept inside the box. Why? Not once in 206 rescues is an animal given a pill that is an anti-internal parasites pill or flea treatment. Lots of injections. One poor cat gets 3. But no antiparasite treatment. Treating rescued animals for parasites is usually the first action of any genuine rescue organization. A rather sparse first aid box, with 4 syringes, needle cartridges loaded and a bottle of something injectable, I find sinister. I was able to identify something that was being injected. Usually, they are careful to conceal a bottle's label, but way back, when LTT animal was still live, a finger slipped and there was the name of the injectable I'd seen again and again, and because the only other identified injectable is Catosal, which is in a brown bottle and pink, I've little doubt that what is being concealed on the left is urotropin. And here it is again, and again, and again. Each is a different rescue. These are the only times I could get a shot of the whole bottle, but parts were visible in other shots. So what is urotropin? A magical, universal panacea? No. It's an antiseptic for treating urinary tract infections, not well tolerated in cats. This makes it all so much worse. As you see, urotropin is the commercial name of methenamine. The extract from the Vemidim leaflet says strictly keep away from light and avoid heat exposure. What comes next is no better. It wasn't just what was being injected that bothered me, but where. The needles in the 2 images on the left look like they are going directly into the pleural cavity. Maybe that is why, when they started the Cat Care Guide channel, they began pixelating where the needle was going, though it still looks as if it is going into the pleural cavity of the kitten on the pink towel. The gauntlets are new for this channel too, never seen before, just a theatrical affectation, especially when holding an unconscious cat. Their former absence is significant, as Vietnam is a country with rabies and an average of 75 rabies deaths a year. Force-feeding liquids. You do not have to be a vet to know that you do not give an unconscious animal, as all of these are liquids, especially when it is on its back, but these vets do. In over a quarter of rescues, animals were being force-fed liquids. Dead cats and kittens and the grotesque, twisted and farcical theater of funerals. 206 fake rescues in 5 months. A minimum of 516 kittens used, I couldn't always see all of them. Plus 135 cats. Plus 54 puppies. And 18 dogs. And they expect people to believe they care enough to do this. Just 4 funerals. So what happened to the rest? I'd determined that a few of the cats being rescued were already dead, they didn't get a funeral. We are told 1 or 2 are dead, so where are all the rest, the other 719 animals at the end of the videos? How many people, if they've a dead animal to bury, think to put a camera in the bottom of the grave? Do they always have a spade with them, or just the right-sized cardboard box for 2 dead, newborn kittens? There's something that makes the 2 images with a cross likely to be a mockery, but then all of these fake rescues are a mockery. This is what makes the 2 graves with a cross likely to be a mockery, a Buddhist statue on the dashboard of their car. Karma is a Buddhist belief. I hope there's something in it. I took this screenshot, difficult as the car was moving quite fast, because something caught my eye, another fake rescue taking place as this rescuer, Tran Bong, sped off to perform another sham rescue. And the rest of the animals? A handful are last seen at the site where they are found. The image above and bottom left were where the kittens were being saved from drowning. The vast majority are last seen in small, often bare and comfortless cages. These people claim to be a rescue center, so where are the proper cabins? Where are the hundreds of other animals they've rescued? In a backward step, in 2020, Vietnam lifted the ban on eating cat meat. Now around 1 million cats are slaughtered for food each year. What are these vets really doing with these animals? Where are they sourcing so many animals to stage their cruel, fake rescues? I learned, many years ago during a legal case, I was the prosecution side, not the defense, the vital role of the use of language. Look at the text of the image below left. They ask for support, not so that they can save more animals, but so that they can continue to make rescue videos. That is their priority. People who care for animals just want to know they've been saved, whatever the video quality. In many of their videos they explain the animal's unconsciousness as them having fainted. That is, it is a word that they are familiar with. Putting fake instead of faint is a giveaway, a classic Freudian slip. As previously stated, I was certain that these fake rescues were carried out in batches of at least 2 at a time. It was one of my main categories at the start, but it was very difficult to prove and success was limited as I needed the same person, in the same clothes, with the same sky, preferably in the same location but with different animals, rescued. Only after months of work did I consider that if they did batch rescues they probably carried out batch treatment at Sam Pet. To prove that seemed too much to hope for. Wrong. This was easy by comparison because there were fewer variables, and what should vary, didn't. All will become clear. This was the smoking gun. These rescues were supposed to be days, or even weeks apart, yet sundry items that should be different daily in a veterinary clinic are the same in different rescue treatments. My main handicap here was a different camera angle of the vet obscuring something, but considering I only took between 2 and 6 screenshots, more when deemed necessary, and camera angle difficulties, I still made 15 groups, some only from 2 rescues, but one group features 6. Let's see. First, a bit of explanation. As before, I looked for the same vet, in the same clothing, though as you'll see, one almost anticipates that the same clothing might be noticed. For each group, first you'll see an image with what remains the same that shouldn't. For example, the instruments in the sterilizer, looks like a microwave oven, in exactly the same position, image below left circled in red. The following images in the group will not have the items circled. It may seem odd that I have picked out plugs on the back wall, but what is plugged in there, and where, changed frequently, so that when it didn't, in conjunction with other sundry items that didn't change, it became an indicator, a red flag. This rescue was also posted on LTT Animal Inset, with a different title. Because their rescues sometimes get loaded several times, on the same channel or different channels, and with more than one rescue on a video, the title may look like it's nothing to do with what you are seeing. The end. Not quite. I thought I'd finished, was ready to load the video, when I decided to take a virtual trip to Vietnam, courtesy of Google Earth, where I found a second smoking gun, as damning as the first. What I found blew my mind. This is Phong Cam Thu Y Sam Pet, the so-called rescue center. Remember these images? I was certain that they were staging their sadistic rescues locally. I just didn't expect them to be this local. There, directly across the road, are the two offset, different height, fence posts, wall and higher tree. So what lies did they concoct about the 3 sham rescues they set up here? They got a call. Here's the proof. Liars overdoing it as liars often do. The narrative says 23 kilometers, not halfway around the world. Been on the road a while? 23 kilometers doesn't take long, unless he walked, which, of course he did, all the way across the road from Sam Pet. Here you see the business that is next door to Sam Pet, the garage that is a few meters down the road from Sam Pet, and 2 lorries you'll see soon, though one is parked the other way around. On to pack of lies number 2. I don't have much more on this one, except the full image that shows the posts, which not even dense seasonal vegetation can hide. On to the third in this sequence. At this point, in this rescue, the camera went all out of focus. No mystery, you can't show people Vietnamese writing when you're claiming to be in the USA on your YouTube channel page. And didn't they say they wanted support so they could create high-quality videos? I'm not sure why they say they are reenacting a rescue. That alone would be cruelty. The circled feature you will see again. They don't even wait for the water they poured in to dry on the tire's edge, and the kitten is just lying happily on its side in the water. As if. Their deceit and their cruelty make me angry and sick in equal measure. It is so difficult to see the people they have fooled heap praise and blessings upon them in comment sections. At least there are now more rescues I can identify as being within a few yards of Sam Pet, or not far down the road. I came to understand why there is such tight, close filming on some rescues. That is because they are taking place literally on the doorstep of Sam Pet. Here are a few more examples, but first, a wider view of the premises. From both directions. A wide-angle view up the road, also. A wide-angle view down the road. Now for a few more, very, local rescues. This rescue takes place just a few meters from Sam Pet, as, I suspect, do all but one of the rescues which occur around a lorry. The odd one out occurs in the car park, and I found the car park too. I have little doubt that this rescue took place in the establishment on the left, which is next door to Sam Pet, as can be seen in the Google Earth images. I just changed the exposure to show the inside. The Google Earth images are all dated 2023, the rescue is 2025, but note how the Sam Pet sign over his left shoulder is unilluminated. Switched off to prevent identification. The 7th. And the 8th. 9 and counting. 10. 11. 12, and for 12, pan round a little, and there's Sam Pet, so close it explains something that had puzzled me, that is, why these puppies were one of the few rescues not drugged. There were a few more rescues that I identified as being within about 100 meters of Sam Pet, but I just couldn't get the detail with sufficient clarity, the camera angle, or an obstacle prevented it. However, I'm going to include them anyway, and you can make up your own mind about them. It's the trees, not Tran Bonk's head I've circled. I wonder what the Vietnam Small Animal Veterinary Association would make of 2, possibly 3, of its veterinarians causing suffering to hundreds of mostly cats and kittens to make money on social media. All that many people know about Vietnam and animals is that they eat cats and dogs. The reality is, it's a country of contrasts. That is, yes, cats and dogs are still eaten, but it has at least 2 state-of-the-art veterinary hospitals, and people keep cats and dogs that they love just as much as people in developed countries do. Vietnam is also striving to move towards the same standards of animal care and welfare as in developed countries, so let's not judge the country by the behavior of the vile, evil, sadistic vets who are still making these upsetting videos. Thank you for watching, if you've stuck it out this far. I also have, complementary to this video, for those it might interest, screenshots from each of the 206 rescues, 1 screenshot from each rescue, though a screenshot may have thumbnails inserted. I will turn that into a video sometime soon, then I will tackle part 2 of the exposure of these Vietnamese vets, who should not only not be allowed anywhere near animals, but should be in jail for obtaining money by deception. This is the Tran Bong Gang's latest Facebook page, where things actually get worse, because they are profiting even more from animal suffering and fraud. They are not only recycling YouTube videos, but are still making new ones. They must be stopped.